Hello, YouTube and the World Wide Web. This is Check It Dude on RicketTube on YouTube at RIR on the game called Second Life to do a little auto racing today. We're going to be racing the Aero 88s. This is our heat race. We already have 8 people qualified into the main, and these are the last ones. 8 of us here. The top 5 will make the main. The rest go home. .30-lap race. These cars are pit stop cars, but they are not. We will not need a pit stop in this race at 30 laps.
So, okay, the paint job. That was in the bathroom.
Maybe. Something must have happened. Sorry about that. The last 2 ain't gonna make it. Okay.
One more spot there. Yeah, I did. It's up to like 9 or something like that.
You had nothing. You had nothing.
Oh, he's screwed.
Now, before the race starts, you can set your car to different settings, and what you're doing basically is sacrificing handling for speed. I set mine up really loose. I had good handling, low speed. As you can see, I was able to stay low on the track. People, when they passed me, they absolutely blew by me. And the only thing keeping me in the game is the corners. It's a good little menu system he's got for the setup. He put a lot of thought into it. A lot of work. This is like this entire game is built by one person. The track, the cars, the scripts to make them go.
Halfway, and there's still 4 battling for those 2 spots. It's a matter of math now.
I bet she was driving about
Here we got me and the red car are running 6th and 7th, last place as of this point in the race. Neither one of us is going to make it to the finals, to the main event. We've got to catch one of those cars in front of us.
28 Masterwork together, they've got it.
And you just heard a woman say that if 28 and her master, because she says slave, if they work together, me and the red car have no chance of catching up. And that's true. But you could see the two cars up there, the green cars, they're not working together. They're running side by side. They're just inviting us to come back, one of us to come back up and challenge them for a spot. The bump drafting is it's a little bit hard on this track, but it's important. You can do it.
We can gain a little extra room. Yes, but he's getting nice, saving it.
Nice and steady. Hold your own.
What's that?
No. Catch him.
Remember this 28 car, this green car, and you're going to see a lot more of him in the main race.
Or something.
Last lap. Yeah, he just has no control of that car. No control.
Well, here you go.
So this green car and I, we do make the main, and the green car behind me does not, and the red car behind him does not. We're going to start off before we start the next race. I'm going to show you what happened at the end of the race before we show you the race, and it's got to do with this green car dude. This is kind of interesting.
Is one position worth wrecking all the leaders? I don't think so, dude.
I was piss poor behavior.
Is one position worth wrecking all the leaders? I don't think so, dude.
I was piss poor behavior.
Okay, so before both races, there was discussion on do you need to pit stop or not. On the 30-lap race, it was pretty clear. Everybody says, nope, you don't need to pit stop. That race is over. Then the 40-lap race started, and there was some discussion, and evidently there was disagreement. And I was busy. I only heard one thing, and then I toned everybody else out. I heard you needed to pit stop. Now, I didn't really have time to practice before the race, because normally when I have time, or when I used to race here all the time, I used to see how many laps on each track with each car so I would know. I didn't do that. I had to go on what they were saying. I know I'm not a total sucker. I take it with a grain of salt, but I didn't have time I didn't care that much, and I certainly didn't have time to check. I just counted on their good behavior, D. Good behavior, not piss poor, lying behavior, which I'm going to show you who you are.
40 laps. 40? That's might be able to get away without a pit stop actually.
Okay. Cowboy says nah.
Oof. Yeah, so
Maybe a splash.
She said, Cowboy says no, maybe need a splash, and that's what I heard. That bad guy, then he said he thinks you could do it, and I didn't hear that. I mean, I was busy, I was doing something, I heard what I heard, and that was it. And then watch this. This is a beauty by D. She's talking before the start of the race. Okay, I didn't hear this at the time either, but it's important. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Alright, I'm coasting, I'm coasting, I'm coasting, I'm coasting. I'm saving fuel. It's toot. Coast.
I expect to see a lot of red coming across it when it's over. Everybody's going to be out. Because they're all going to try it. They're either going to win out of fuel, or the person who's smart enough to stop and get fuel is going to win. It'll be one extreme or the other.
Okay, so we've just established that she thinks that it can go either way. That you might win by trying to do it on one tank, or you might lose by trying to do it on one tank. And if the pit stop person who stops and takes a pit stop might actually win. This is what we just established there. This is important to show what a douchebag she is.
Good luck everybody, make sure you're in gear 4 and your car's mobile. No, but I'm in the pit. Shit. Oh yeah, that's more like a start. Four wide. Thanks. Whoa, I ended up loose there.
Wow,
that's some traffic. Four wide again.
Alright, guys, come on.
Okay, you just heard her first complaint. We've got to get through a lot of her bitchiness during the race before I can get back to my first point. I don't know who that is in a blue car, but she's clean. She's a clean racer. She's pretty good. You can see nobody's bitching and moaning. We're having a good race here, aren't we? Now you're going to see D pop back in the green car, number 42. Everything is going fine until she pops back in. As soon as you see, you're going to hear a complaint. Shit.
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 That's twice.
That's twice. Well, what? I did something twice, huh? That's what she's saying. Really? Well, let's first look at this. The second offense, quote unquote. Then we'll go back and look for the first one. Okay, in this still shot, you can see we're going into the corner. I've got my line picked. Bang. she dive bombs me, which turns my car, because she hits my quarter panel, spins my car inwards, puts her to the wall. Cause and effect. She did it to herself.
Shit.
Alright, if that happened too fast for you, we're going to watch it again. Just in case there's any doubt in your mind. Here we go. Still shot. That's me taking my corner. No problem. You can barely see her car in the lower left. I didn't see it. I was watching where I was driving, unlike some people. There we go. She hits that rear quarter. You see how it spins the car? That's normal. I mean, that's what happens when you hit somebody's rear quarter. You're going to spin that car one way or the other. Okay, that was my fault. That was my second offense, quote unquote. Well, that's twice. Okay, D. Yeah, I know why they call you D. D-bag. There it is. One more time. That's a classic dive bomb.
Shit.
That's what we call it. It's one of the things you're not really supposed to do. Sometimes you do it by accident. Sometimes you do it on purpose. Depends who you are. But it's a classic dive bomb. There's no way I'm in the wrong here. No way. There's no way you got my genes, Junior. Okay, that covers my quote-unquote second offense, okay? We're going to go back now and try to find this magical first event where I supposedly screwed her over the first time. Just in a couple seconds here. It's going to change. Here's the first one that may happen.
4 wide. Thanks.
Alright, I'm going to play it 4 times here.
4 wide.
You could see
Thanks.
the orange car hits my
4
right
wide.
rear corner, which turns my car normal and makes my front
4
end
wide.
push into her rear panel and turn her
Thanks.
car. You watch the orange car turn me and then I turn her. Alright? It's contact. This is RIR racing. That's what they call the league. RIR stands for rubbing is racing. Alright? So no, there's nothing there that's my fault. So let's go to the next instance. We were touching here. Let's see if this is what pissed her off. No, that looks pretty clean. That's rubbing is racing. Hello, that's RIR racing there, D. Hate to break the news to you, but there's nothing there either. So, let's look for the next point of contact between her and I found it. Here it comes.
Wow,
that's some traffic. 4 wide again.
alright, guys, come on.
And what is this one? Okay, that's her on the outside, it's me on the inside. Okay, there we go. She goes into the wall. That's where she complains, so this is probably it. Right? Where do you see this is my fault? There's 4 wide. Any one of those 4 cars involved in this could have lifted off the accelerator. But that's not the way you do it in Second Life. You hold the accelerator down and you hope for the best. If you let off the accelerator, the pack leaves you behind and all chances to win the race are gone. Any one of them could have lifted. Here's a classic pinch play that causes it. 3 cars. The noses of those 2 cars hit, sends my car into hers. She goes into the wall a little bit. Doesn't knock her out of the race. Doesn't really hurt her. But that's my number 1. That's my first offense. My quote-unquote first offense. Way to call it there, D.
I'm just gonna park.
Oh, you're doing alright.
Okay. The other guy's going to come into view here pretty quick. He's in a green car number, I don't remember at the moment. He's the one that came after me after this race, saying how, you know, I was so bad and everything. And he's the one that complained after the race how everybody was dive bombing him. Watch this right there. And I've been so nice to include his complaints after the race right here.
Would have been real good racing if we weren't pinballs in the back. We would have been able to catch. I was getting dove every corner. I was getting pushed up into the wall. No, you're fine, dude. I'm just saying in the back it was dive bombers in the back. People were just literally running into the side of people's cars going full speed, not trying to stop and pushing people into the wall.
So who dive bombed there, pal? Big Mouth? Tell me who dive bombed there. And his second one's coming up here already.
Would have been real good racing if we weren't pinballs in the back. We would have been able to catch.
Here.
I was getting dove every corner. I was
Who's hitting who?
into the wall. No,
Every,
you're fine, dude. I'm just
every corner, huh?
It was dive bombers in the back. People were just literally running into the side of people's cars.
Oh my God, you're right. It was dive bombers in the back.
People into the wall.
Would
have been real good racing if we weren't pinballs in the back. We would have been able to catch.
Look at him as he talks.
Every corner, I was getting pushed up into the wall. No, you're fine, dude. I'm just saying in the back it was.
Oh, it's okay when I do it.
Just literally running into the side of people's cars going full speed, not trying to stop and pushing people into the wall. Would have been real good racing if we weren't pinballs in the back. We would have been able to catch. I was getting dove every corner. I was getting pushed up into the wall. No, you're fine, dude. I'm just saying in the back it was dive bombers. It was dive bombers. It was dive bombers in the back. People were just literally running into the side of people's cars going full speed, not trying to stop and pushing people into the wall.
Alright, so this is a big stretch of the race. It's pretty uneventful. You see this 83 car and the green car. The green car is the mouthy kid. The green car mouthy kid, he wasn't in voice during the race. But I think he was in Skype or something with this 83 car. And I think he was already rapping about me. And so his buddy 83 came along. Starts bombing at me, trying to take me out. Mouthy boy there in the green car didn't say shit until after the race. That's when he jumped out of Skype or whatever, is my suspicion. And got in my face after. But watch this, watch this. Look at that. What do you call that? I call that, hey, 83 buddy, get this asshole off me. Okay. Watch, he's pressing on me, doing all kinds of shit. Hits me all the time. It's not a big deal. I don't care. But don't get in my face, man. When you're pulling all kinds of crap. Especially when I'm filming and I have access to slow motion. And we didn't even get to the worst of it yet with D. This is all chicken shit. You wait. So this is uneventful pretty much, but I wanted to show it so you knew I wasn't taking things out of context that were just, anti him. I want to show you that nobody should be talking to me like they were. Especially people who have no room to talk. So a lot of nothing happens here, so it's a good time for me to explain the pit stop idea. Now, I believed, like I told you, that we had to make a pit stop. Now, I was several seconds behind the leaders, maybe 5 or 6. The little window pane here is too small for me to see, but you'll see it on your computer. Maybe 8 or 9, I don't know. But I said, all right, I'm going to pit early, right? It was around lap 25, I think. And I'm going to get a full tank, 4 tires, and hope that everybody's going to wait for the last couple laps and be forced to pit to get their splash, and you to get this log jam effect where everybody's trying to pit at the same time, right? That was my plan. That was the only shot I had at winning the race. So after I pit, I wasn't really looking at the laps. I didn't know I was on lap 38. I knew it was getting near the end, and I really felt like nobody had pitted yet. You know, I don't remember if I actually looked and saw I was still 2 laps behind, or what made me think nobody actually pitted yet. But I was pretty sure nobody pitted yet, and that everybody had to pit. So I was playing for the win. That's my explanation. I'm going to explain it now rather than later when you see it. Okay, so I made a little time back. I caught up to these 2 cars in front of me. And rather than battle them, it says it's time to pit, right? I don't want to lose any more time fighting for an inch of position. I pit, I get my full tank, and you'll see when I come back on the track that the 4 tires really paid off because I start getting a good rhythm. Everybody else's tires are burned out, and I'm clicking by cars like a metronome. Click, 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 click. You know, I'm going right by them, still playing for the win, thinking they got a pit. So what happens is D gets on my case, and you're going to see it all pretty soon, because I was messing with the leaders, right? Who, in my mind, weren't the leaders. They still had to freaking pit in a log jam. So you watch that, and I'll explain the rest later. Like I was telling you, with the 4 fresh tires and a full tank of fuel, look at how much better my car is than theirs right now. There goes 1 car. I catch up to the next batch in a heartbeat. I mean, I'm gaining ground like a bastard. Just look at all these seconds I'm making here because of the tires. Now I'm thinking they all got to pit in the same lap, and there's going to be a log jam. People are going to miss their pit stall. There's going to be some serious time consequences for them. I had no reason to think I was not playing for the lead. I show this 3 times because the girl in a blue car, I think she's a really clean racer. She wasn't dive bombing here. I don't think she deserved to be taken into the wall. I'm not really sure Kim did it to her on purpose. It could be that Kim's car got turned inwards. Can't really tell from here. But tough break there for her. Okay, coming up pretty soon, you're going to start seeing where D walks around a lot. I've heard her brag about being a bitch at least twice. But I'm telling you, this goes beyond bitch. This is, well, like knee-deep into douchebaggery. Here's where you're going to start seeing her as a hypocrite or a liar or both. We're going to go by her car here, and I'm going to zoom in for a second. You can hit pause. You'll see she's got 3 gallons of fuel left, which means she didn't pit. Well after the race, and actually the next day, she admitted to me in a text that she was doing 47 laps during practice on 1 tank, so she knew what you could do on a tank. Remember what she was saying before the race? All the smoke and mirrors. Okay, watch us pass on Kim. I slide her door a little bit. It's clean. It doesn't hurt her. Listen to D. Listen. Earlier she said anybody can win this race, whether they pit or not. Now, all of a sudden, only the non-pitters are going to win. Listen. Hear the girly gasp? Because Goddess hit me. I don't mind Goddess hits me. Doesn't matter to me. But, oh, like I did another huge crime. Okay, here comes her next complaint. You're going to hear it. And look at the green cars back. Douchebaggery number 2. Pinch play. Listen.
Who is that wrecking the leaders?
Who is that wrecking the leaders? Let's take a good look at that. Started off, clean passes lined up. Ended up being one of those 3-car pinch plays. Half my fault, half the green car's fault. Right? He turns her in a little bit. I ride a little higher. Now we're all stuck. All right? Nobody lifts. I'm playing for the lead. At least in my mind I am. I didn't know we were on the last lap. The green car is a lap down. I'm 2 laps down. I think I'm in the race. Green car knows he's out of the race. He's a lap down and he's got almost no fuel. All right, he's out of the race. He's a lap down because he's a lap down. In my mind, I'm 2 laps down because everybody still has to pit in this next couple laps. So who is wrecking the leaders? To me, I'm a leader. 10 gallons of fuel. Everybody else is almost out of fuel. So who's the green car? That's all, right? The asshole that comes up to me later. He's talking crap later that I'm wrecking the leaders. When I was playing for the lead, he wasn't, and he knows he wasn't. Okay, we're still gonna have one more complaint out of D. All right, it's gonna be at the very next corner. Kim, me, and Goddess. I'm gonna try to explain it now because it goes by pretty quick. Goddess is in front. I'm in the middle. Kim's in the back. The blue car is outside of Goddess. There's a blue car. Kim hits me in the ass, sends me up into Goddess. At the same time, somehow, Goddess peeled away from that blue car and went way down the track in front of me. All that happened simultaneously. And listen to D.
Rick, are you messing with the leaders?
I am? Let's look again. How am I supposed to know that Goddess is going to peel down the track almost like she hit something? And how am I going to know that Kim's going to send me flying into Goddess? Sorry. Rick, you're messing with the leaders. Which only goes to prove that she knew that they were going to finish on one tank. Now if you listen really close, you're going to hear her with a exasperated sigh. People hear this stuff, D. You're driving down through the race with your mic open, complaining about everything. Listen, hear it? People just need to learn to turn off their mic while they're racing. It leads to no good. I learned that a long time ago.
Is one position worth wrecking all the leaders? I don't think so, dude.
I was piss poor behavior.
So here we got this dude virtue signaling because he knows that D was onto busting my balls, right? And he was just as guilty or more guilty than me and fucking with the leaders, which the video proved. He complained about dive bombing, which the video proved he was a dive bomber. So he's virtue signaling for D. D's piling it on by saying I had piss poor behavior. D, I got news for you. It was your lie that made me race for the win at the end, near the end. It was your piss poor behavior, D. This is why I'm probably not going to race at RIR anymore. And to be honest, let's let the cat out of the bag. You're the reason I left last time. Because you're douchebaggery. Just to erase all doubt. This is what she texted me the next day. Because I explained to her in the text. I said, look at that. I thought I was playing for the win. I explained to her in text what I just explained in the video. And she says, yeah, she says, but what I have learned about is if they say you will be a lap short on gas, they are usually misleading you. Although it was her doing it, in addition to they. And then she admits, when I ran, I made 47 laps in practice per tank. So I was pretty sure they were playing mind games. No, D. You knew they were playing mind games. You perpetuated the lie, which I don't mind getting lied to about that kind of stuff. I get it. And I didn't have time to see how many laps I would go. Right? I just didn't have time. You want to lie to me about it? That's fine. I don't care. But don't come to me later when your lie blows up. You know, for Your lie had consequences. It made me run hard, and then you're going to bitch at me because I was going on your lie. It's my guess. This is why you need a master. And he's failing. Well, on to more stuff, because she's not actually done yet.
Let's see what we got.
There was no reason to be wrecking
That's me,
leaders.
and I wasn't wrecking leaders. Did they pit
67.
stop? So anyway, there was a little tiff between me and her right then. And poor bad guy is trying to read the results. He didn't want to get involved. I'm not going to play that whole tiff.
Yeah, you took out Goddess.
This is more pile-on. I didn't take Goddess out. The video proves it. She didn't lose second or third place. First place was many seconds in front of them anyhow. This is just more pile-on. Somebody who can't admit they're wrong. As far as I was concerned. Anyway, I had to play this last part. I'm not done with the other douchebaggery yet. Yeah, he was lipping off. And then his buddy, remember the one I suspected they were in Skype together or something? This is funny. He steps forward and defends his buddy. You know, his little cartoon walks right up in front and center, gets out there, says what he's got to say. And then he turns his cartoon around and struts right back to where he was. Did his good deed. I just thought it was funny the way he made his cartoon walk out when he wanted to talk. You know, it was like taking a little platform.
Fourth place was bad.
Cavity race is clean, so I don't know who you are, deer hunter.
And,
Yeah, I was okay until about lap 30 and my wrist and hand gave out for some reason.
They went and took a full 4-chair pit stop.
Took a full tank pit stop?
Yep. They can't take right. I quit smoking yesterday.
Oh, congratulations, I'm quitting too. We'll quit together.
Oh, just don't get bitchy when you do okay.
Hey, I'm not bitchy yet.
That's
Some
okay,
folks that
I'm
quit are
not
just
gonna get bitchy.
awesome.
I'm in my second 24 hours.
I'm gonna recommend carrot sticks, Jeff. Crunch a lot of carrot sticks.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, they help.
Carrot sticks or celery.
It's
Would have been real good
jaws
racing if we
gets-
weren't pinballs in the back. We would have been able to catch. I was getting dove every corner. I was getting pushed up into the wall.
I can't friggin' think. I'm sorry if I do see you.
No, you're fine, dude. I'm just saying in the back it was dive bombers in the back. People were just literally running into the side of people's cars going full speed, not trying to stop and pushing people into the wall.
Yeah, Cartoon, that's what happened to me. That
Well, I
one
can
big
still
black
drive.
spike, I lost it. That was it.
Xfinity practice is open.
So I tried to come back to Second Life Racing, and I think I'm done with it. You know, we did 2 races, and I don't think I want to do it anymore. You know, you get in these little circles, and there's politics, and they revolve kind of strongly. There's a lot of people there I like, you know, Goddess, Bad Guy, Kim, and a bunch of others. But yeah, I think I'm done. After this video, they probably won't have me back anyhow, because there's some pretty strong politics there between D and Bad Guy, and it is what it is. But yeah, it only took 2 races to get on my nerves again. So, you know, why do you want to go race somewhere where you're put in a position to defend yourself like that, and over things you didn't even do, and over things that other people caused? Namely, the one that was balling you out the worst is the one that caused everything. You know, she calls herself a bitch. Sorry, D. You got to come up with a better word than that.
fourth place was bad.
Cavity race is clean, so I don't know who you are, Deer Hunter.
And,
but shut up.